Time for business. Sandra is here. Hello, Sandra.
Hello. The former president has been talking.
Yeah.
We're talking about the economy, the banking sector, and everything. But one issue of interest to many has to do with the FX committee and why we needed a 40-member committee for the CEDI solutions. He's been talking about
He's been criticizing. Okay.
Exactly.
Right, you go.
My name is Sandra and I'm here for business. Former President John Dramani Mahama has criticized the formation of a 40-member FX development committee set up by government to find solutions to the country's forest issues and the persistent depreciation of the CEDI. He has therefore thrown a challenge to Vice President John Dramani Mahama to hold another lecture on the CEDI's performance. John Mahama was speaking on Facebook Live a while ago.
It takes innovation and smart thinking to be able to do all these. They hadn't been in government before. They were very naive, asked 170 theoretical questions. Then today you come and set up 40-man committee to understand why the forex is. I mean, first year university students will tell you why the CEDI is declining against foreign exchange. And so you don't need that forex committee. We all know why it is depreciating. If you have higher demand for foreign exchange against supply, it will depreciate. If you have an economy that is import dependent and you're not exporting enough, your foreign exchange position will depreciate. You don't need a committee to come and tell you this. A lecturer friend of mine, and I'll publish an assignment he gave to first-year economic students, and he asked them, if you were on the 40-member committee, what would you assign to the depreciation? And they did the assignment, and they analyzed it. I have a copy. I'll publish it on my Facebook so that everybody will see. First-year university students have analyzed why the CEDI is depreciating. Why do you need a 40-man, committee to tell you why the CEDI is depreciating? I'm sure today they see the reality. And I'd have hoped that Baumia will give another lecture at Central University and say some of the same theoretical things he used to say. You don't run an economy from textbooks. You don't run an economy with economic lectures. Running an economy takes practical work, determination, and prioritization.
So that was a challenge to Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now to other stories. Now, Ghana's Customer Service Index for 2019 has seen a drop to 62.61% from previous score of 63.99%. The Customer Service Index is an economic indicator that measures the satisfaction of customers by services provided in various sectors of the economy. President of the Institute of Customer Service Professionals, Yvonne Ohui McCarthy, said there's a need for a stronger attitude towards the customer.
9 economic sectors, including the financial, retail, hospitality, health sectors, among others, were measured under the Ghana Customer Service Index. Overall, Ghana's Customer Service Index was 62.61%, down from a previous score of 63.99 in 2018. Yvonne Ohui McCarthy is the president of the Institute of Customer Service Professionals.
I think nothing has been done. That's why there's a drop. The truth is that when someone feels bad service or perceives that you're giving them bad service, if nothing is done about it, even if you continue not to give them any good service, the perception will keep declining. And I think nothing really has been done to work on any of the things that we spoke about, especially, for example, if you look at the bottom 3, telcos, utilities, public sector. I don't know of anything currently that's drastic that has been done to try and change some of these problems that we spoke about, which I think will be elaborated in the report. So it's just a matter of things not being done, strategies not being put in place, the willingness to change. And I always say that if they don't show the willingness to want to change, there'll be no point. As we can talk about it, but we can't change people, or we can't change organizations. Organizations need to be willing and ready to change.
The retail sector came tops with 67.16%, while the public sector recorded the lowest with 56.45%. The retail sector's top performance, according to the president of the Institute of Customer Service Professional, was as a result of foreign ownership of the top retail centers.
And we've analyzed and realized that most of these organizations under the retail sector, Melcom, ShopRite, Game, are actually run by non-Ghanaians. They have a different way of working. They respect the customer, even if their internal customer might not be as good as we've heard over and over again. But there are some strategies and structures they put in place that is working for them. And so you realize that they tend to do well in their business. They tend to stay in Ghana and have businesses spanning 10, 20 years and over. But then the Ghanaian sets up a business, and because the system that we use is wrong, the way we go about things, our standards are wrong, the business collapses or doesn't do well. So if you're a startup, you need to start asking yourself, how do I start my business right? Yes, we know that you'd be talking about capital, where to get a place, a physical location, but think about the customer, the very person whom you're hoping to take money from.
Other highlights of the report show that face-to-face business transactions dominated digital transactions. For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklo reporting.
Ghana has joined the new transit monitoring system expected to be implemented by the countries in the West African sub-region to help prevent diversion of transit goods. The new system, which is expected in March this year, will boost efficiency of custom officials in member countries to monitor and get the necessary revenue from goods in transit. That's more in the following report.
And for now, before the end of the year, you mentioned specifically transit. In the case of transit, we were, as of December, operating around 98.5% of efficiency, which means that if there are any risks of losing something out of transit, it is now less than 2%. And that's, we are trying to make sure that we have 100% guarantee of all transit leaving our country and safely arriving in the destination countries. Now, there is also some good news. At the ECOWAS level, I was in Abuja for a conference of commissioners of customs. A new system has been developed, and it is going to be rolled out by all ECOWAS countries. And that system has a specific model for transit. And what that seeks to do is that the landlocked countries and then the countries along the coast having the port facilities are all going to be hooked on this. So as soon as a declaration is made, a transit movement, the vehicle and everything is done, straight away, automatically, all the countries hooked to that system are aware of the movement of this consignment. So the originating country as well as the destination country are aware of the movement of a particular consignment from point A through whichever port. So, and they see it real and live. So we are supposed to be hooked to it by the end of March this year. It was actually as a result of our transition from one system to the other. We want a system that starts and ends without several service providers doing overlapping and interdependent processes. So once that is put in place, in addition to our own efforts of trying to make sure that everything is now digital, I'm sure that issues about suspense regimes and in particular transit will be attended.
A single port rule?
The single port rule is slightly different. The single port rule was going to be a project between selected countries.
In other news tonight, fast-moving consumer goods firm Unilever Ghana is said to be facing some serious challenges. The company is said to have registered a huge loss of 141 million cedis last year. This is against a profit of 59 million cedis in 2018. As a result of the loss, its basic earnings per share for 2019 was a loss of 2.26% share as against 3.05% gain in 2018. Here's a report on how Unilever has performed by George Yafi.
The 141 million Ghana cedi loss represents about 137% decline with respect to the profit posted in 2018. Unilever's revenue also declined sharply by some 46% to hit 339 million Ghana cedis. The manufacturing giant attributes the challenge to trading conditions and the reduction in its inventory in their distribution network. The firm, in its third quarter results for 2019, highlighted how these challenges could hit its end-of-year numbers. This forced the company to warn investors of some challenging end-of-year numbers. But despite this challenge, the management is still optimistic about the outlook for the company this year. Going through the report, it was clear that Unilever had taken some steps to reduce its loss position. However, challenges with the stock out on the market and decline the purchasing power of some consumers might have hit them hard. However, Unilever's problem could be described as a mix of internal and the current environment, which is not actually helping local manufacturing firms that might have to deal with counterfeiting of its local goods and the very cheap one that are also coming in from outside to compete with them on the local market.
Thanks so much for watching. That's all for business for now. I'm back after 8 p.m. with more business news.